Professor Raymond Mobley, Department of Ancient History. I know now that nothing can
Alright,
remove the
welcome
atrocities
back.
unleashed,
We are
but I
playing a game
believe
with
I can
Mia,
stop it. Follow these
and it's been a
instructions.
little bit, so I got a chance to really get to know her, David, and the Plague Bringer,
Draw on a map and split it into
or
pieces
the
to hide
Witch.
them from the demons.
Um,
Gather the pieces to find
I
the
gotta say, I
location
think
of the
Mia
demon
and
that will
David
lead to
are
its
the worst in their
original form.
categories. Um, don't get me wrong, they're fun, they do have their uses, but compared to what's already come before with the other characters, well, David, I'll be honest, I haven't played him a lot, but his power of you know, the only power of his that really seems useful is 30% less damage when he takes a heal. And Mia is actually really similar to Scotty. So I actually do have fun playing as Mia. And the way that I have my build for her, not to get super autistic about the build, but the two key takeaways for the build is she masters one-handed weapons. So I kind of want to try to tailor her around her machete build. And the other one is the last hit you do is like a really damaging one. So my strategy with her is if the demon is targeting someone else, come up behind it and slash at it, and maybe like 7 slashes, and it usually goes down if it's like a possessed basic or something. So she's really good at doing damage. My experience though, if the demon's targeting you and your team's not really like jumping on it with you, then that can be trouble. So she's very similar to Scotty in what I keep hearing them referred to as a glass cannon. Basically meaning they're very good at attack, but defense not so much. Um, I still put Scotty though like above her because his weapon mastery is lumberjack axe, and that's the best melee weapon in the game. Like that alone, I think just puts him above her really. Um, her power is shit. Her fear power. I mean, you start to do more damage with it. That's kind of nice about it, but a lot of the times you're like scared, right? Your character is in a high fear mode, and then you activate the ability. But a lot of times in those situations, there's a possessed unit, a demon's trying to attack you guys. As a warrior, your main goal there is to get in its face and beat on it. So the design around her power is that you're just gonna like attack swarms and mobs and just take them out. Got a demon on me. But in practicality, like you're really just attacking one or two possessed units. So nice idea, but there's a design flaw that like any half competent demon will possess their shit and attack you with it.
Now hold the first piece of my map. A small but strong step.
And quick thought on Plaguebringer, her basic and her elites are kind of shitty. They don't do very much damage. They're more good for like picking at you and picking at your health, but like compared to like Necro, for example, and his Necro's basics with a spear, that thing does like feels like it cuts people down way quicker. Still, her boss is badass, the Witch. So, where does Mia kind of shine? Well, other people probably have builds for her where she does like two-handed weapons, so she would be good with like balance bar or dismemberment with the lumberjack, for example. But as I said, what they kind of focus on with her is machete as the weapon mastery. So my thinking with that is one-handed weapons and just slashing. And she does get really high damage. So it's possible that I have there's a flaw in my design where I try to tailor it around the machete, but I don't know. How do you compete against like Henry, who has invincibility? How do you compete against Army of Darkness Ash, who's got a he's got his self his little amulets able to heal himself, whatever you call it. You know what I mean. And even Scotty with Lumberjack Axe.
Your group now holds an additional piece of the map. Well played.
But like I said, just because I think she's the worst warrior doesn't mean she's necessarily bad. It's just that if the demon's really good, it's going to be an uphill battle with her as your warrior, I think. On another note, though, like playing with her, especially with like just a little knife or something super fast, we can rack up. I've racked up like over 100,000 in damage with just that in a couple of games. So she is pretty crazy with the damage, especially with the single-handed weapons. The main problem with the only way they can backfire though is if she gets possessed. She can take out the team pretty quickly, especially if the rest of them are not warriors or not able to stand like damage, or your hunters don't know how to dodge. A possessed Mia with the right weapon is capable of just downing the entire team in a matter of like 10 seconds.
And Kandarian dagger are within reach. My plan will only succeed with these items.
Alright, well, we rush the map pieces. Oh yeah, let's talk about how the state of this game is too now. So they gave a buff to Demon. They made cars a bit more scarce. Cars do more damage. And Puppeteer now is crazy. Oh, this guy's going after a warrior. Alright, so 657, you see that damage there? That's the doing the last one. So yeah, in terms of her running off on her own, she's not bad at it, especially with possessed basics. Oh yeah, so yeah, Puppeteer now is nuts to go against. Their power possession, where you press that little button, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, is nuts now. So basically, if you're playing as Puppeteer, you just gotta get to level 3, find the survivors with Infernal Energy, hit the power possess, and a lot of times you can just end a game that way. Catch the survivors with their pants down, they don't have any pink Fs, they don't have any good weapons, and they're just fucked. And it's kind of led to a state of the game. I wouldn't say unfun, but it's definitely made solo queue more frustrating, especially when you're with teams that don't really understand the mechanics of the game, like the best way to go about it, or they try going off alone, but they don't know how to like handle themselves alone. Puppeteer now, from what used to be what I consider the worst demon, which by the way that's changed too, but they're definitely like the most OP demon, to a point where I think it's unhealthy for the game to keep them like this. But yeah, no, the Puppeteer, I do take back that video saying is the worst, just because their ability to to possess people and use their weapons against them. Like Puppeteer is such a great counter against a level 25 Ed Getley, who has the you know, more golden crates, more purple crates, etc. Everyone's getting better weapons that way. Puppeteer can really make that bite them in the ass. Now, another thing with the Plaguebringer too is if they set a cauldron there, and it's not like somewhere you have to be, like it is now, but if they set a cauldron in a random area and you don't need to stay there, just get out of the area. You don't need to break it. In fact, breaking it damages you. And there goes the witch. So yeah, I got my power active. I need hordes though to be taken down. Don't get me wrong, it can happen, but well, let's just see how this works out. But yeah, the elites, man, they're so slow and clumsy. Like they're pretty telegraphed and simple to dodge. They're kind of like the Puppeteer's elites in that regard. And the skeletons, they have unpredictability going for them. That is one thing. So like if you're facing it, or if the skeleton's facing someone and you think it's safe to just come up behind it, it can definitely counter and just attack you instead, pretty easily. There we go. Demons got me. At least the team noticed before like I could sneak up on anyone there. I think I just jacked Kelly's ammo. Always giving priority to hunters for ammo. So, the game we have now, the team of people, we actually have no support, which means we kind of had we lucked out on the demon because, I mean, support's pretty necessary against higher up demons. So we have Scotty. So 2 warriors, and they're both the quote-unquote glass cannons. They're not great on defense, but if you could see, like, the 2 of us, when we both attack, like, a possessed unit at the same time, it's just a matter of seconds, really. Give Leader Ash there a Shems. And we have Leader Ash, who is actually, if you're trying to play around with Mia's fear and everything, he's not the best person to have around for that, because he passively takes down fear. How effective is it? Well, that's up to debate, but that's basically his power. Kind of contradicts against yours. They kind of don't really mesh together. And then Kelly. Who's Kelly? Yeah, one thing that has been very nice since the update is how the map in Dagger, especially on this map, or the pages in Dagger on this map, how they don't spawn like right next to each other. That was something that needed to be fixed a minute ago. Oh yeah, point I made earlier too. Cars are very very damaging now, especially towards hunters and support. Like, I had a game where I was chasing a Cheryl. She got into a car on the big map, was trying to get away, possessed the car, so she's out in front, and then basically just start ramming it into her. And you can sometimes get them down, or at least knock out half their health that way. Like, cars are ridiculous now. In fact, cars almost feel more like a detriment to survivors than for demon. Because when you have 4 people and you're trying to get the hell out of there, like, getting 4 people is like corralling like barnyard animals. Sometimes they take a minute. And then once they finally do get in, well, the demons collected enough infernal energy, they take the car, everyone shoots it, so the car starts breaking down. The demon can hit you with the car, so now people are getting, like, your hunters and support can get fucked up with it. And then, alright, so you finally get the demon out of the car is miraculously still working. Now you gotta herd everyone back into the car, which can take a minute, and the demon's back into it. So more often than not, when I'm with a group, especially a group of people on comms, we just figure let's just fucking run for it. Because the car is just such a pain in the ass now. I don't think I mind it too much, though. But yeah, that's the thing with these asymmetrical games, is figuring out that balance, and I don't think that perfect balance is ever really there. But the state of the game now, it's definitely tipped to the demon's favor.
You have awakened the lost pages of the Necronomicon. Stay close and hold your position.
It's worth considering, though. Why is that? Why is there, like, if you want to win as demon, you pretty much just stay on top of him the whole time and Just pick your targets wisely. And elites, supposedly they're more immune to melee damage than they are to range. But I found as a hunter, even with a decent weapon, like a decent gun, it still takes forever just to shoot them, especially like as a warrior. So like playing as hunter, I do target them specifically so the warriors can focus on boss or basic, but if you're a warrior, just slash them. Who gives a shit? It still gets them down relatively quickly. But a balance idea that I think would have been alright would be you put the pages in the dagger in like one corner, and you put the dark ones in another corner. As of now, I think you missed it, but I don't know if it's obvious here, but the dark ones are actually right outside the castle wall, so it's right next to the demon, or right next to the pages that we're capturing now. Easy trick. If the survivors had to go across the map and run into the demon that way, I think that would be a good balance, actually. Because that's a really vulnerable time for survivors and for the demon to just pounce on them.
You hold the lost pages of the Necronomicon, the rarest and most powerful artifacts in our world.
So yeah, as you can see, the lack of support is definitely starting to catch up to us here.
Armed with the lost pages and the
Luckily we're in the castle, so there's usually good looting around here. And luckily we're next to the dark one, so we don't have to worry about the storm closing in anytime soon. I'm gonna let them hit up castle. Smithy isn't bad. Usually has like a Shemp or two. But yeah, Mia's strength probably lies in her takedown of just basic units, non-possessed basic units. She has that similarity to Scotty, where if the demon spawns a portal with like 5 of these basics coming out, both of them can take them out in a matter of seconds. So I'd say that's where she really shines at. There's the Shemps. Yeah, I would like to redo the tutorial in this game. Like, yeah, show them the basics of the game and what they're doing, but also have like a mini game of like timed looting to try to like get people to, you know, loot quicker than they need to be. Because a lot of times they take just forever to loot. People, it's a newbie thing, I guess. But that can end games right there when people take just too long to loot. Another one would be too, hey, you got a good weapon? Give it to the warrior. You got a good gun? Give it to the hunter, etc. You got a Shemps? Give it to the support. You got a leader? Well, good luck. Like that kind of thing. There's a lot of newer players don't seem to understand the synergy, and they don't seem to understand like loot quickly. Now, I don't mean to harp on newer players that much because I like this game and we do need new players. Fan base is kind of lacking in that regard. But man, it's frustrating sometimes. She had like no energy. If you're playing as Plaguebringer, you do want to use her special attacks If anything, just to keep your infernal energy going. Like, I played a game recently with Witch, and her infernal energy was like getting to the minimum. It was about to like go out. You just do her like little potion throw at them, and then there you go. You get it replenished. So as long as you keep doing like changing your attack patterns around, A, that's good for you because it's more unpredictable for the survivor, and B, that's how you keep your infernal going. I found a Shemps. The dark one's for the right by the castle wall too. It's pretty good RNG for survivors. Just because before the book phase, you can revive them. Now, I know the storm is a lot closer now to the end game, which I think is cool. I'm all for that. But at least for these ones, you can still pull off a revival because of the proximity of the revival stones, or whatever the hell they're called, next to the dark ones. So, like on the big map, for example, if somebody goes out the dark ones and the storm's like getting close, they're just fucked at that point. Is it another thing that helps Demon? Sure is, but hey, it keeps the game unpredictable. There's been games where, as Survivor, like our team's just rocking it, we're kicking ass the whole time, and then we lose the end game. So, place your bets, I guess.
There's no doubt that the demon will attempt to destroy the completed Necronomicon. You must not allow it.
Another thing to worth note about Plaguebringer is she's probably the worst one to attack the book. Well, maybe not the worst. Puppeteer is also really bad at it. But yeah, if I'm playing as Plaguebringer at this point, I don't even bother going for the book because like the basics, as I said, they're weak. They kind of pick off. They pick at you as Survivor. Like you get like 50 hits, 60 hits, like, but you don't get like high damage like you would if you were the Necro's Elite, for example, and you're throwing that like pitchfork at it. Tips for playing against the Witch. If you're a warrior, it's going to be a little tricky. You gotta have your dodges down, especially for the basic attacks, because those will push you back, leaving the Witch at a great like vantage point. But you really just want to get in their face and just keep smacking at them. Don't let them get away from you. Because the Witch, her main power, like her abilities aren't too strong. Her main ability is just mobility. She's kind of like Elagos in that regard. Alright, 0 Shems, 0 amulets, all or nothing here. So yeah, I'm pretty low on health here. The idea is just stay behind the demon. Hopefully it doesn't target me. It goes for Scotty, who has more health. So I try to keep my distance there. It's targeting me, as it should, but at this point it's too late. So yeah, it's a game with Mia, kind of state of the game. And oh, Mia and Scotty really, just the two of them outputting a shit ton of damage. How much damage? Let's find out. Oh, baby.
To close the breach, but if by some chance you have an old man's eternal gratitude.
Yeah, so that's Mia for you. And that's my thoughts on her. Take care.